It's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. NBA regular season is back tomorrow. We got a 2-game slate to talk about in this video. $200,000 up top in the big contest. Welcome. My name is DK. Like I said, we'll be breaking down the 2-game NBA DFS slate in this video. Also cover content for NFL DFS and for player prop sites like PrizePicks, Underdog, and Parlay Play. Guys, if you're not on Parlay Play, you can use the link down below for a $100 deposit match bonus, or you can use the code DKDFS. They do have NBA props, a ton posted for tomorrow already. But yeah, they offer a lot of different sports, and you can win up to 75x your money on Parlay Play. So my best advice when getting into prop betting is get on as many of these sites as possible. And then you can search and search for through each site and see which one offers the best value. So if you guys are interested, again, link is down below. And if you guys are looking for premium content for DFS, more in-depth content, or for prop stuff, you can check my Patreon linked in the description. We can quickly kind of talk about how my preseason went for NBA DFS. So had a great NBA preseason. This was a week ago, but had over a 220% ROI in 1 week in the NBA preseason, $3,500 profit. Again, this is tracked Roto Tracker. To track your daily fantasy sports plays. But yeah, over 200% ROI, $3,500 profit. That was just in 1 week. Won a good amount more. And then this was last week again. I have over 100% ROI when betting preseason props for NBA this year. So we hit over 100% on Underdog. A massive amount of units. Again, this was for the year. Over 100% ROI, plus 163 units. I just started playing on Underdog in the summer. So it was an absolutely phenomenal NBA preseason, and hoping we can continue it into the NBA regular season. It truly was like an unforgettable run that we went on. Also, let's talk about this too quickly. This happened tonight, and I'm just in so much pain. Got hooked out of a 25x Christian McCaffrey rush attempts. We had Brock Purdy. I witnessed back-to-back QB sneaks, and then he throws a pick, and I get hooked out of a 25x. So that was really tilting, but yeah, we still had a lot of people win. Underdog, again, we had people hit big hits there. And then I did also tweet out review of Patreon, and there's if you guys want to go back and look at through all these reviews, you can, but we'll just read a couple. Old member, but one of the best Patreons and Discords I've ever been a part of. Only reason I'm still a member is took the time away from DFS. Makes money while running worse. Again, no one runs worse, right? Here's another one, right? Signed up in the blue circle and then already up massive amount of units. So, yeah, Gabe, been a member for years. Literally the reason why I'm here every single month. Yeah, like I said, if you guys want to check it out, you can go read through those reviews, but we were taking down every single night in DFS, right? We had people win 10K, win the 5K. We were constantly up top on the high stakes as well. So hopefully, like I said, we can keep it going for the NBA regular season. All right, so let's take a look at these Vegas odds really quick before we get in the player-by-player breakdown. So what you guys are looking at right now is the OddsJam Sportsbook screen. And it has the average odds up. And also, if you wanted to bet on the game, it would give you the sportsbook that offers the best odds. So Lakers and Nuggets is game one. Average odds right now about a 228.5 over under. Nuggets about 5-point favorites. And the late game Suns Warriors about a 234.5 over under. And the Warriors are about 1-point favorites. If you guys are interested in signing up for OddsJam, you can use the link down below or the code DKDFS for 25% off your first month. They also have Fantasy Optimizer for sites like PrizePicks, Underdog, Parlay Play, all that good stuff. So you can also sign up for that. Again, it gives you percent chance of hitting individual props. So if you guys are interested, link is down below. Okay, so let's get into it. And I think the best way to talk things through is first go through what I think the rotation is going to be for each of these teams. Then we can kind of talk through players and their salaries. So for the Lakers, we know what the starting lineup is going to be, right? It's LeBron, it's AD, it's Reeves, it's D'Lo, and it's Taurean Prince. Now, off the bench, this is what I think will happen for the Lakers. You're going to see Rui Hachimura off the bench. You're going to see Gabe Vincent off the bench. You're going to see probably a little bit of Wood / Jackson Hayes. I think in this matchup, you could see more Jackson Hayes just because Christian Wood is awful defensively. So you're going to see a little bit of those bigs kind of playing the backup five. And then I think you do see Max Christie as the last piece in the rotation. I don't think we see Cam Reddish in the rotation, and Jared Vanderbilt is already out. I don't think you see Hood-Schifino either. So that's what I think the Lakers rotation is going to be. Now, as far as players in the Shallers go, the top two guys, LeBron at 9.3, AD at 8.9K. I prefer Anthony Davis to LeBron. Now, obviously, I do think there's a little bit of foul risk, especially with Anthony Davis playing more at the 5. But I think AD has the higher ceiling at this point in his career as opposed to LeBron James. So give me AD over LeBron if you made me pick between the two. But I'm fine with LeBron. I think LeBron will be relatively low owned. I think he's a bit overpriced as opposed to some other guys on the slate. Right, when you have LeBron similar price to like Nikola Jokic and you have KD and Booker for like $1,000 less, it makes it kind of tough to get to LeBron. So I think the reason you would play LeBron tomorrow is ownership. And LeBron, even at this point in his career, still does have a ceiling. I just think he's a bit overpriced. Absolutely no interest in Christian Wood at that price point. Now, the mid-range guys, you have Reeves, Russell, I think are both pretty solid options. I like the ceiling a little bit more D'Lo. And one thing to mention, too, is I'm a little bit more confident in the mids for D'Lo this year. Right, you have Gabe Vincent playing the backup point. Like I don't think they're going to close a ton of Gabe Vincent, so I'm more confident in the mids for D'Lo. Where last year, the D'Lo got benched a lot in the regular season and in the postseason, more so in the postseason. But I'm more confident in the mids for D'Lo, and he played pretty well in the preseason, except for the one game that I played him. Obviously, he's a guy that can get hot too. All the ball in his hands a decent amount, so I think D'Lo probably my favorite option in the mid range here for the Lakers. But I'm totally fine with Austin Reeves, who's another guy that can kind of do everything. Rui Hachimura off the bench at 5-1. I don't think it'll be super popular. Minutes-wise, I think he's probably going to see 20-plus minutes. Reasonable price point. I think he's viable, but again, not a must-play for me. Gabe Vincent at 4-5, kind of just there. He should see decent minutes off the bench as the backup guard, but no real strong takes. Christie, I think we'll see rotation minutes. I don't know how much he's going to play, but I think he will be in the rotation. And like I said, I think you're going to see like a little bit of Hayes, maybe a little bit of Wood. But I think this game, going up against Jokic, they probably go to a guy like Jackson Hayes a little bit more. That's my guess. Let's talk about Denver. So Denver, we know the starters, right? It's Jokic, it's Murray, it's MPJ, it's Gordon, it's KCP. Now let's talk through the bench rotation for the Nuggets. I'm pretty sure they're going to run 9 guys tomorrow. So I think the 4 off the bench that play are going to be Reggie Jackson, plays the backup point. Christian Brown kind of playing that Bruce Brown role from last year. I think Zeke Naji plays the backup big. And then I think you see some Justin Holiday. Now, I would not be surprised if Peyton Watson cracks the rotation as the 10th guy, or maybe like Watson plays over Justin Holiday. But looking at the rotations, especially in the preseason, it looks like Justin Holiday is a bit ahead of him right now. All right, so at the top, Jokic is 10K. I think he's probably your best spend up on the slate. I think he's definitely underpriced. It'll be interesting to see where the ownership lands on him as opposed to some of the other spend ups, but I think he's pretty clearly a optimal play as it stands right now. Like I said, we'll see where the ownership comes in on him, but it's just way too cheap of a price point. And yeah, I think Jokic should be able to dominate. So I really do like Jokic here at the top. Jamal Murray at 7.5, I think is a reasonable option. I will say if you go the Jokic fade route, I think Jamal Murray is a guy that I would look to more, right? Because I'd be pretty surprised if both Jokic and Murray fail on this slate. So I think if you are going that risky kind of fade Jokic route, I'd probably look to Jamal Murray, who we know has a very high ceiling. The mid-range options here for Denver, MPJ, Gordon, and KCP are all reasonable plays. I like the ceiling the most on Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon, no real strong taste. KCP is fine. I will say I'm a little bit more confident in the minutes for KCP. Without Bruce Brown, last year Bruce Brown would close at times over Michael Porter Jr. He would close at times over KCP. He would close at times over Aaron Gordon. I think at least early in the year, you should feel pretty confident with the starters' minutes for Denver. Off the bench, Christian Brown's 4-4. Again, I think he'll play a pretty big part on this bench unit, so I think he's fine. I think Reggie Jackson's a bit interesting at 4-1. He might not be the best real-life basketball player, but he's still not a bad fantasy point-per-minute player. And, Reggie will chuck when he's out there. So I think he's a little bit interesting at 4.1K if you need some salary relief. Zeke Naji, I expect to play the backup big. If Jokic gets some foul trouble, maybe Zeke Naji could be a viable option. So expect him to play the backup big. And then, again, I think you probably see a little bit of Justin Holiday, maybe a little bit of Peyton Watson. All right, so let's talk about the second game here, the last game on this 2-game slate. We got the Suns and we got the Warriors. And I was talking about this. I did a Twitter Spaces. If you guys are curious, you can go check that out. we were talking through the rotations. I think this team is the hardest team to try to figure out what the rotation is going to be for Phoenix. I do. Now, I will say Booker and Beal, they both have listed as questionable. I would be shocked if Booker misses. But Beal, I think there is a chance he does not play. It sounds like he'll be able to give it a go, but I will say maybe like 70-30 that Beal plays. I think about a 30% chance that he does not play. So, and this is a late game too. We might not get that news. So you could play for, Beal to be out or just have that kind of 2v2 swap, right? Maybe you have Beal in your lineup, he gets rolled out. Well, just have like a 2v2 backup plan ready to go. So starters for Phoenix, it's going to be KD. Or let's just assume Beal plays, right? It's going to be KD, Booker, Beal, Nurkic, and Josh Okogie. Off the bench, you're definitely going to see Grayson Allen. You're definitely going to see Eubanks. You're definitely going to see Eric Gordon. That's 8. I think you probably see a little bit of Goodwin, and probably you see one of Bates, Diop, or Watanabe. So that's what I think the rotation will be like. But the guys that I'm confident minutes-wise off the bench would be, again, Gordon, Okogie, and Drew Eubanks. Goodwin and the wings of Bates, Diop, and Watanabe, don't know exactly how much they're going to play. But as far as the top end guys go, I would be pretty surprised tomorrow if neither of KD/Booker are in the winning lineup. I think they're both underpriced, and especially if Beal does not play. Gotta really like KD and Booker. Again, Booker's gonna be playing more of the point guard position this year, so that really raises his floor. So really like both the Suns' main guys in the higher total of the two games as well. So love KD, love Booker. Like I said, I think both are definitely underpriced, and I would be shocked if neither are in the winning lineup tomorrow. Now, Beal at 6'9", kind of just there, indifferent on him. If he plays, he's fine. If Beal misses, I think guys like Allen, Grayson Allen benefit, Eric Gordon benefit, Okogie probably gets a little bit more run. So these value plays would benefit if there's no Brad Beal. My boy, Yusuf Nurkic, is 6'3". Now, here's the thing with Nurkic. We know he's a really good point per minute guy. It's just a question of how many minutes is he going to play. Now, the Suns went out and they wanted him because he fits this offense a little bit better. He's a much better passer than DeAndre Ayton. So Nurkic, I like the ceiling on. I'm just a little bit unsure of what the minutes are going to look like, especially going up against a small ball team in Golden State. We know Golden State loves to go small, so that could limit the minutes on Nurkic. But like if you told me, let's just say tomorrow, you told me that Nurkic played 30 minutes, I'm playing him. I'm just not, I don't know exactly how much he's going to play. And then Eubanks will play the backup 5. Kind of tough for me to get to him at 4-7, but again, he will definitely be in the rotation. And then those bench guys, got Allen, Gordon. I think Grayson Allen would probably be my favorite of the bench options. I think he has the highest ceiling. When he's knocking out of shots, we know Grayson Allen does have a high ceiling. Eric Gordon's kind of fine at 4-3. I think he'll play some backup point guard. Okogie at 4K, expect him to start. I think he's a reasonable value. And I just realized, too, I forgot to talk about Taurean Prince, 3.5K for the Lakers. He's going to be a very popular value play. I think he's very, very safe. Again, he's going to start. So Prince, I think, is a really solid value. He'll be popular. The reason I thought about that is that we were talking about that in the spaces of what the ownership was going to be on Prince versus Okogie. I was like, I mentioned Prince at the beginning, but forgot to talk about him at his price. Prince is a really good value play tomorrow. He's starting. I think he plays at least 20 minutes. But Okogie, I think, is a similar option, assuming he starts. 4K, reasonable option there. And then, like I said, Goodwin, if you're confident he sees decent minutes on the bench, I think he's an interesting value play because he actually is a good point per minute guy. And you probably see a little bit of Bates, Diop, and Watanabe. But like I said, I think this is the rotation that is the hardest to predict tomorrow. And finally, Golden State. So no Draymond Green. We know what the starters are going to be. It's going to be CP3, Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and Kevon Looney. Now, off the bench for Golden State, I expect to see Kuminga for sure. I expect to see Gary Payton. I expect to see Dario Saric. And then I think you see a little bit of Corey Joseph / Moses Moody. I don't know if we see Jackson Davis at all. I think it's possible he could play a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure that he plays. Now, if we talk about players and their prices, Steph Curry, 9.2K. Don't think he'll be super popular. I like him for tournaments. I think he'll be relatively low owned. Again, I think him and LeBron are kind of priced about right, where guys like Jokic and Booker and KD and Anthony Davis are all underpriced. So I think the reason you go to Steph, again, is for ownership purposes, and obviously he can break any slate that he plays. We know the ceiling's there. Now, the price points on the other starters for Golden State, I think, are good. I think Chris Paul is one of the best plays in the slate at 5.6K. That's just way too cheap. A little revenge game narrative as well. I really like Chris Paul. Klay Thompson, I never like rostering the guy, but obviously he has a ceiling. And then I think Wiggins and Looney are both underpriced too. So a good amount to like here for Golden State with the starters. I think they're all a bit underpriced outside of Steph. So Paul, Klay, Wiggins, and Looney, I think all look really good. Again, Looney without Draymond Green obviously gets a bump. I think his mitts are a bit more secure. We know Looney's not a bad point per minute guy. So I think he's also a very, very solid play. And Kuminga is 4-6. He's played extremely well. He played extremely well in the preseason. And Golden State flat out said he has the green light when he's out there. So I think Kuminga is going to play a pretty big role. I like him quite a bit at 4.6K. I think Golden State tomorrow would probably be my favorite overall team to target on the slate. I just think everyone's a bit underpriced. I think, the starters outside of Steph are all underpriced. I think Kuminga's a bit underpriced. So I'm very high in this Warriors team tomorrow for DFS. Other value plays, Gary Payton, I think, is playable at 3.9K. We know he's a good defender. I could see him playing 20-plus minutes. He also has nice eligibility, point guard, small forward. So I think Payton's interesting. And then Sarge, I think, is another interesting value. I think he's ahead of Jackson Davis, and he's not a bad point per minute guy. If something happens to Looney gets in some foul trouble. Again, they don't have Draymond, so I think Sarge is kind of a sneaky value play here at 3.4. And then, in my opinion, you probably see a little bit of Corey Joseph, a little bit of Moses Moody. Probably not enough for me to go there. Maybe Jackson Davis plays a little bit too, but I'm not confident in that. All right, guys, so that'll wrap it up for the video. I know it was a shorter one, but only 2 games. I am going to do a YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check that out. YouTube live stream for everyone. We'll talk through, we can talk through some ownership, answer questions, all that good stuff. So make sure to check out the live stream tomorrow. I'll be live for everyone on YouTube. But like I said, I cannot wait for NBA season to be here tomorrow. Again, it feels like Christmas Eve, so I'm super, super excited. I really appreciate you guys for watching as always. If you do, make sure to like, subscribe, put the notification bell. I'll have some prop stuff posted tomorrow as well, both on Twitter and YouTube. Keep an eye out for that too. But good luck on opening day, and we'll see you guys all in the next video.